Sending notifications to external stakeholders in onboarding. Organizations frequently have the requirement to send notifications outside of their Taleo user listing. Example of this would be sending an alert to a relocation vendor that they have a new hire coming on board and to begin any relocation processes to prepare for their move. In this video, you will learn how to include an external email address in a notification, how to set up the task for the notification, how to add the notification to your onboarding process to deliver externally. Here I have gone into my message template area in Onboarding Admin, and I have started to create a new message template. I have a code and a name for my message template. In the to line is where I'm going to enter the email address for that external vendor. So I'm going to put in the email address for this vendor. In my subject, I have included relocation benefits and the new hire name. You can include tokens in your subject area to make the email stand out and to give the recipient an idea of who this is for and what this is for. I'm going to select Save here. In the body of my notification, I can include any logos, and then I might want to include some information related to the relocation benefits for my user. So I'm going to include first full name of my new hire. I'm just going to bring down full name. Maybe I want to include my start date. I'm going to use the token requisition expected start date no time. This token will just give me the start date and not the additional start time information. And then let's bring in the relocation package and amount information. And I'll bring in those tokens. So they're going to get information about this new hire. So they have the new hire name, the start date, and then I'm going to give them information about what relocation package or what relocation amount we have assigned for this new hire. I'm going to select Save, and now my notification is prepared. Here is where I'm going to put the to, so that is the email address that this notification is going to go to once it's executed as part of my process. I'm going to now activate my notification. Next thing we're going to do is create our task definitions assigned to this notification. So again, I'm going to give it a code. I'm going to call it Relocation Vendor Alert. It is a send correspondence. And then I'm just going to go in my related source and locate my relocation notification that we just created. Once I have that set up, I'm going to save my definition. Everything looks good. I don't need to assign a notification to this task definition because it is a notification within itself. So we don't need to do that piece. I'm going to activate my task definition. And now we're ready to add this task definition to our process. So I'm going to go to Processes. I'm going to go to my draft process. And just like I do with any other step, I'm going to select Create Step. It is a task, so I'm going to select Continue. Here, I'm going to pull in the task definition that I just created. Here's my relocation vendor alert. The duration will be 1 day because as soon as this step executes, it's going to trigger. I don't need a sequence because it's an external user. Sequences are primarily used for new hires. So when you have your new hire tasks, you're able to sequence those tasks, and that's what that sequence option is for. Now, on the assignees, whenever you create a step in your process based on a task, you have to assign an assignee. Now, because we have this notification going out to an external recipient, most likely they're not in one of our user roles. So they're not a recruiter, recruiter assistant, manager, manager assistant. They're not going to be a user in our Taleo instance because they're not an internal employee, et cetera, to the organization. So in order to send this notification out externally, but satisfy the requirement of the system to have an assignee, I'm going to set up a ghost assignee. So in our demo zone here, I'm going to assign this to my team ghost assignee. You'll notice that the email address for this ghost assignee is invalid email, meaning that for this assignee, the email won't go anywhere. Okay. So once you have this all set up and finished, then you're able to set up your transitions in your process. So what's going to happen is when this notification gets triggered, because we have this dummy assignee assigned to the task, it won't go anywhere, but because I added the email address of the external recipient in the to line of my actual notification, it will be delivered to that external vendor. So the system is going to say, here's the information about the assignee, but hey, we have this email address in the to line as well that we need to deliver this notification to. So therefore, the notification will go out to that external recipient. Now, you could also say, hey, I want this notification to be assigned to my recruiter. So the recruiter will get a copy, or my HR coordinator will get a copy of it, but it's also going to go to that external vendor as well. In that instance, I'm just going to set my assignee to my recruiter assistant, which is where my HR coordinator's name is held. I would then not need the dummy user. So what's going to happen is when this notification gets delivered, the recruiter assistant will get a copy of it, but because that external vendor's email address is in the to line of the actual notification, they will also get a copy of the notification. Now, one thing to be aware of when setting up these notifications that are going out to external recipients is that if I have multiple assignees, so let's say that I wanted it to go to my recruiter assistant and my recruiter. So I've assigned this task to 2 users. That means that this notification is going to go out 2 times, once delivered to the recruiter assistant and once delivered to the recruiter. Because the to line of the notification is what holds our external vendor's information, then each time this notification goes out, they're going to get a copy of the notification. So because I have this assigned to 2 assignees, that means that the vendor will also get 2 instances of the notification as well. So we want to be careful there that when you're doing this practice and you have multiple assignees, that you watch out for that. It might just be better to either assign it to one person or use your dummy assignee, and then remembering that your recruiter and HR coordinators do have access to onboarding to view the process and any notifications that would have been triggered from the process. Thank you.